Hello, and welcome to our lesson on resource management and ethics and governance management. This segment will cover acquire resources. The acquire resources process involves securing team members, facilities, equipment, materials, supplies, and other essential resources required to complete project tasks. This process plays a crucial role in outlining and guiding the selection of resources, assigning them to specific activities. It is performed periodically as necessary throughout the project lifecycle. The resources needed for the project can be sourced either internally or externally to the project performing organization. Internal resources are obtained and assigned from functional or resource managers. External resources are procured through established procurement processes. Several critical considerations come into play during the resource acquisition process. The project manager or team must effectively negotiate and influence relevant stakeholders who can provide the required team and physical resources. Failure to acquire necessary resources may adversely impact project schedules, budgets, customer satisfaction, quality, and overall project risks. In cases where team resources are unavailable due to constraints, the project manager may need to assign alternative resources, considering factors like competencies and costs. Use of alternative resources is permissible as long as it aligns with legal, regulatory, mandatory, or other specified criteria. These factors should be thoroughly examined and addressed during the project planning stages. Some of the factors that affect the acquiring resources process are project management plan, project documents, enterprise environmental factors, organizational process assets. Components of the project management plan encompass resource management plan, which guides the acquisition of project resources. Procurement management plan contains information about external resource acquisition, integrating procurements with project work, and involving stakeholders in the process. Cost baseline presents the overall budget for project activities. Considered factors include project schedule, displays activities with planned start and end dates, aiding in resource availability determination, resource calendars, documents periods when each resource is available. Resource requirements identifies resources requiring acquisition. Stakeholder register may reveal stakeholders' needs or expectations for specific project resources. Influential factors include existing information on organizational resources, covering availability, competence levels, and prior experience for team resources and resource costs. Marketplace conditions, organizational structure, geographic locations. Assets influencing the acquire resources process include policies and procedures for acquiring, allocating, and assigning project resources, and historical information and lessons learned repository. The tools and techniques adopted in the resource acquisition process are decision-making, interpersonal and team skills, pre-assignment, virtual teams. The decision-making techniques applicable to acquire resources encompass multi-criteria decision analysis. Multi-criteria decision analysis tools facilitate criteria development, rating, and scoring of potential resources. Interpersonal and team skills for this process include negotiation. Negotiation is vital for obtaining required resources, involving interactions with functional managers, ensuring optimal resources within required timeframes, other project management teams, external organizations and suppliers, procuring specialized, qualified, or specific team or physical resources. Pre-assignment occurs when project team resources are identified in advance due to competitive proposals, project dependence on specific expertise, prior assignments from processes. The use of virtual teams introduces new possibilities for acquiring project team members. Virtual teams, defined as groups with a shared goal who interact with minimal face-to-face meetings, leverage communication technology for collaboration. This model allows formation of teams from the same organization in different geographic areas, inclusion of specialized expertise from distant locations, incorporation of employees working from home offices, formation of teams with diverse schedules or locations, inclusion of individuals with mobility limitations, progress with projects while minimizing travel expenses and office-related costs. Effective communication planning is essential in a virtual team environment, considering factors like expectations, conflict resolution protocols, decision-making inclusivity, cultural differences, and sharing credit for successes. The following are outputs resulting from the Acquire Resources process. Physical resource assignments, recording material, equipment, supplies, locations, and other physical resources to be utilized throughout the project. Project team assignments, documenting team members, roles, and responsibilities, including a project team directory and integration into project management plan components like organization charts and schedules. Resource calendars, identification of working days, shifts, business hours, weekends, and public holidays for specific resources, aiding in estimating resource utilization. It also specifies when an identified team and physical resources will be available, considering attributes like experience, skill levels, and geographical locations. Change requests, submission for review through the Perform Integrated Change Control process, when changes or impacts occur, requiring corrective or preventive actions, affecting the project management plan or project documents. Project management plan updates. Updates to components such as the resource management plan to reflect actual experiences, and lessons learned in resource acquisition. Changes in the cost baseline may also result from acquiring resources. Project documents update. Update include lessons learned register, documenting challenges, avoidance strategies, and successful resource acquisition approaches. Project schedule, changes reflecting resource availability, resource breakdown structure, recording resources acquired during the process. Resource requirements, updating documentation to reflect acquired project resources. Risk, register, recording and managing new risks identified during the process. Stakeholder register, updating with new stakeholders or gaining information about existing stakeholders. Enterprise environmental factors updates. Updating factors include resource availability within the organization and the consumption status of the organization's resources. Organizational process assets updates. Updates include documentation related to acquiring, assigning, and allocating resources. This is the end of this segment of our lesson. In the next segment, we shall discuss the Develop team. This course is presented to you by South Europe College. Thank you for listening and see you on our next segment.